Hello, I'm Greg Hrutkay of Hrutkay Mods, and have you ever wondered what it would look like if a Gemini book had a baby with a non-unibody MacBook? Well, you would get this. The Axiotron ModBook, as we see right here. And today's episode is all going to be about the Axiotron ModBook, which I've had since before it blew up on YouTube a few years ago. I had it probably a month before that and never filmed it. Would have been the perfect time to film it then, but we'll film it now and maybe get some hype up on it again. This is a very interesting system, and yeah, it's kind of a hybrid between these two for sure. For instance, I mean, it's just a non-unibody MacBook with a touchscreen on it, just like the Gemini book was an iBook G3 clamshell with a touchscreen on it, but made by a different company. And unlike this system, which this was an optional thing, this is a wheelchair mount for the Gemini book, which also doubled as a stand. This was an optional thing, very rare hardware that most people don't have when they have a Gemini book. And yeah, this doesn't have that. This actually, when I got it, came with a Cricut stand, which I don't know if this is actually this is an easel stand more or less. And I don't know if this is actually, if it came with the system or not originally, but it works. It will allow you to prop it up so you can use it as a desktop, which is a great thing because this is currently only good as a desktop. The touchscreen, like on my Gemini book, is broken. In fact, right now it doesn't even know it's a mod book because it's got to read a USB controller that's in here, which it's not seeing, and I don't know if the controller works. I've already talked to Colin Mister about it, and he thinks it should be pretty easy to fix. It probably just came unplugged, which would be very nice. So we'll be opening this today and trying to fix it and going through it and seeing what's different inside this versus a unibody MacBook, which won't open and, oops, just slammed on the table. But anyway, the bottom piece is literally a unibody MacBook. The top piece is all proprietary, although I think it might be the same screen. It's got a digitizer on it for touch, and it's got a built-in stylus, which you can use, and you know, just, I mean, it's pretty neat. A lot of people have covered this before. I won't go into the back history of it because everyone else's videos have covered that. But no one, as far as I know, has filmed it being taken apart. And we're going to have to do that because it's got to be fixed to actually work. Right now, this is no better than just a really hot, weird form factor, really inconvenient form factor iMac. This is more or less just an iMac now because it's totally useless otherwise. You have to plug in a keyboard and mouse, put it on the easel stand, and use it as an iMac, which isn't the point of it. It's supposed to be mobile, and it's not right now. In fact, the battery's even not super great shape, but yeah, it's not a big deal. Those are a dime a dozen. But this system, we're going to have to open, we're going to have to try to fix, and this should be an interesting video, so let's get to it. So let's start by showing everything that came with this system when I got it. I don't know if this is what actually originally came with it. A lot of it I kind of highly doubt, like this Dynex adapter, but who knows, it might have. So here's the original power supply that came with it. This is most definitely the original. In fact, it's got the same original owner's name on it as on here, which I've already taken off, but it had it anyway. And it also came with the extension cable here, and it came with the Dynex mini DVI, I think that is, the DVI adapter for external displays. And finally, I think this was everything. Came with it. I can't remember offhand. It's been spread across everywhere for a while. It came with this stand, which I also don't know if it came with originally. This is a cricket stand, which is pretty neat, and it breaks down pretty easy. It's also hard to film with one hand, but it does it. And then you just squeeze it, put it together, and now you can put it in your pocket. Pretty neat. And then we got the ModBook itself. This is the ModBook, which is literally just a white MacBook, as you can see on the bottom. There's not a whole lot to say about it. You've seen it before on YouTube, I'm sure. It's got the removable stylus, more than one stylus, and one stylus, right? Anyway, it's got one stylus, and it probably works, but we have no way to find out yet. You got the button, I think that's a sync button for something. I don't remember what that's for. Network, something like that. You got the eyesight camera, the Wi-Fi antennas, and then you start noticing the problems with this ModBook. Remember, I got this cheap. In fact, I don't remember exactly how much it was. It might have been $200-300, if that. Which for a ModBook is pretty good because people that buy these know what they are. And the guy that I bought it from, I don't think really knew what it was. So, yeah, on the bottom, it's literally just a MacBook. All the ports and stuff. But as you notice, it's in pretty rough shape. There's chunks missing out the case. We'll have to replace that soon. But right now, we can tear it apart and try to fix it. I'm not really looking forward to doing that, though, because these screws are stripped, which means someone's been in it before trying to fix it, probably. It might be actually broken. It might actually have to have some professional help. More professional help than I have, and now it's stuck in my hand. There we go. So that's everything it came with, if I remember correctly. It might have came with one more thing. I think it might have came with a keyboard too. I'm not sure. I don't know where that went. Like I said, I've had this a long time, and this stuff's just been kind of floating around, not attached to this, so I don't know. But anyway, we're going to set this up and show you what it does right now when you boot it up, and then we'll take it from there. So let's get to it. All right, so I looked up the previous owner's website, which was plastered all over this thing and the charger. In fact, there's still another one on the charger I didn't even notice. And the previous owner's website was live in 2011, and only 2011. And he was a professional photographer, from what I can tell. He had a lot of neat stuff. I think he must have traveled with this thing a lot, and that's why it's beat to heck. Interesting guy, it looked like. So let's power this thing on, see what happens. It didn't do anything. Let's try that again. Still didn't do anything. I just had this thing running. There we go. I like all the bright, annoying activity lights up front. Let's turn this light off so you can see that a little better. Yeah. Those are so bright and annoying. Yeah, green light and then like two, it looks like two blue lights. So let's not worry about Wi-Fi right now. And it's not giving me the error this time. Maybe it will actually work. I think it might have just fixed itself. Because it's actually working. What? No. That was not working when I tested it an hour ago. Which means the connector's just loose if that's the case. Let's see if it actually works. No! It self-fixed itself. That is so neat. I swear this was broken. It has not worked since I bought it. Well, this is the first time that something just happened to actually fix itself. That's weird. I guarantee you the first time I pick it up, it's going to stop working again. But I was getting an error saying that Quick Clicks, which is Axiotron's program, did not work on a regular Mac. And the darn thing's actually working. I'm a little speechless right now. Let's zoom in on the screen and we'll play with it a little bit. And then I'll debate whether if I want to fix it right now or not, because it's late at night. I'll probably still have to open it. Make sure all the connections are tight. So, yeah. So just to show you, before I turn the lights off, because the screen is so dim you can't see it, that, yeah, I took the keyboard off of it. This is all just happening and I'm also looking at the camera right now and can't see the screen. There we go. Well, I think we're going to run a calibration on this. We're going to turn the lights off, at least some of them, to help make this brighter. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll be right back. So I am beyond shocked that this self-fixed itself. I've had this thing, I think, 2 years, 3 years. I've lost count of how long I've had it, and it's never worked. And I've never had it in the studio, in fact. This has been in my house the whole time because I just never felt like carrying it over and filming fixing it because I didn't feel like pulling apart a MacBook anytime soon. And when I finally decided to bring it next door, it fixed itself as it came across the yard. It's just crazy. So, with the pen, yeah, it's not really touch. It's got some kind of proximity sensor on it. I'm not touching the screen, but you can see the pointer moving around like that. And then when you tap, that is a click and hold. And I don't remember what the buttons do on this. If you hold in the button, it does nothing. That is right click, or that's left click. No, that's right click. There is the Quick Clicks keyboard, which I don't have a clue how I just brought up, but it isn't doing anything either. I don't know how that works. I am learning this as we go along. Let's delete this folder. Move to trash. Okay, so this turns on the keyboard. This is right click. And if I tap that, that moves it to trash. We close that out. I don't think it really needs calibrated, but I want to just to make sure it works properly. So here's all the settings. Fifth click. I don't know what it means by fifth click. Okay, I guess that just brings up the keyboard. It's interesting. Double click distance. So if I can I just hover over it, and I don't know how this works, but that did double click it. It's not super accurate, but I mean it's working. It's shocking that it's even working. Pop-up menu. This is not how I planned this video to go. I figured that we may take it apart and then never get it back together, and it may not ever work. So let's calibrate it. Okay. Okay, now it's even worse. Let's try that one more time. Calibrate, calibrate. Have to be dead center in the piece. There we go. Now it sort of works. I don't know what we could do with this thing, because I wasn't expecting this to work in the first place. And this has some of the customer stuff on it. Display on menu. What does that mean? Oh, cool. So now we can tilt it sideways, like so. And now it's in tablet mode, more or less. It's actually pretty neat. And put it back on landscape. I'm actually shocked this thing's working. Like I said, I've never played with one of these, so I'm learning as we go. Let's see if the battery's doing anything. Battery has not done a thing. It's totally dead. If I unplug it, it's going to shut off. So let's go back to applications, see what else we have. What is cheats, I wonder? Open in Finder. Nothing in there. So I don't know what this owner had on here. Hand tablet. Don't want to remove it. IP5s has nothing in it. This is really interesting. I don't know what to do with it though, because I wasn't planning on it working in this video. You know what? We should still unplug it. I'd take it all apart and fix it properly. Maybe put a little tape or something on all the connectors. So we'll do that in the video just to make sure it's all working properly. And I'll try to do some restoring on this in the future, but let's try to fix it now, make sure it continues to keep working, because otherwise, yeah, it's going to do what it did to me in the past and not work. But I am beyond shocked this is working. Fan control. It's some kind of aftermarket fan control. I don't hear the fans. Should be at max by now. I don't know if the fans are working. Okay, I hear them. They're coming up. They are slowly coming up, but they're coming up. So, put it back to 2100 RPM. Put that to like 80. This is really hard to do with a pen, even though it's pretty accurate. Put it to 50. It's going to keep it between 50 and 80, hopefully. So it seems to work better when you have it at an angle than dead on, which is interesting. It's also got a driver in here for an Xbox 360 controller, which is neat, I guess. That would have probably been handy if you, I don't know if this allows you to. This is definitely not an Axiotron app, but kind of neat. What else did he have on here? It looks like about it. Ink should actually work. Oh. You know what? It's kind of neat, but let's try. What is Apple's version of Paint? I don't know if it's even on here anymore. Was that a thing in Snow Leopard? Might also help if I could. Let's open up Finder. It's got X11 on it. It's got a few programs on it that didn't come from the factory. It'd been really nice if I had a copy of Photoshop on this, but I didn't expect this to actually work. I don't know what else to do here. Brightness. shortcut for the brightness. Well, that's actually kind of handy, especially on this. But yeah, it works. I don't feel like opening it, but we need to. We need to actually fix it properly so it continues to work. I wonder what I know the eraser is literally an eraser for drawing, I guess. Also apparently works as a touch. Yeah, it's like coming around with a really fat, hot, slow iPad Pro that is extremely inaccurate. Yeah, that's I don't know what to say more than that. This is really weird. It's actually working. Oh, I think this also had built-in GPS. It does. I think. It's got a GPS antenna here or here. Let's actually see what we can see about this Mac. More info. USB. We've got the hardware controller, which is actually working. Wacom, that's the touch sensor, I guess. Okay. I don't know what else to really do here, but it's I can't believe this is working. What the heck? I wanted the feel-goodness of actually fixing this thing properly. I mean, we'll still fix it properly, but yeah, I wanted to actually fix it, and it fixed itself. I mean, this is crazy. It excites me and pisses me off at the same time because I was wanting to actually show you how it wasn't working, and yeah, it's actually working. It's so weird. So, yeah, let's shut this thing down and let's take it apart. So, I decided to turn it on one more time to do a quick Facebook post saying, look, this thing's actually working. And, well, it is no longer working. It doesn't do anything now. So yeah, we do have to open it. That's annoying. That's so freaking annoying because it actually was working. So now we do have to open it either way. So let's get into it. I restarted it again after shutting it down. I shook it one time, like, put it back on the stand, started it. It's got to be a loose connection because it works again. That's so freaking annoying. But it's working again. Yeah, let's shut it down and we'll actually fix it. Alright guys, so I'm going to try to follow an iFixit guide on how to fix a regular MacBook. It may help, it may not, we'll see. There is one interesting thing I've noticed here. I actually have the antenna cover on here still in mostly one piece. It's got a few cracks in it, but a lot of them I see don't have this on here. It's actually still there and it's still in one piece. Wonder if there's a way to preserve that. But anyway, let's start by taking the battery out. So, spin that around. Well, there we go. It's actually a real MacBook battery and Axiotron ModBook. It's actually got a sticker on it. That's kind of cool. Cool. Anyway, so we take the battery out and we take these screws out. I remember how to do this now. I used to do this a lot. So, of course, I never did it on a mod book, but it's the same basic principle here. Well, here goes nothing. I'm already nervous. Okay. I wish I could film this. Hey, it's got an SSD in it. That's convenient. It's 128 gig. So I don't know what to do from this point on. What do I do? I almost feel like it'd be easier to do it flipped upside down. And from the rear. Oh, wow. Yeah, no. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But hey, here is the inside of an Axiotron ModBook. I don't even know what board goes where. Considering that every time I shook it, it would start working again, I would say that's... Okay, so it looks like the keyboard port, which I believe is USB, has been turned into a USB port. It explains that. This thing is nasty. Right now, I just want to make sure the touchscreen is working properly. So I'm not going to clean it, but I don't even know how to. Yeah, it does have some slack in it. Okay, so this is a completely laid out Axiotron ModBook, and I think you guys can see up to about right here. So this is the whole system here. I don't even know where to begin. I can't get a hold of Colin. So I'm going to poke around here and figure out what's loose. And we'll be back after I figure that out, if I figure that out. So we'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so this is the inside of the Axiotron ModBook. And there is a lot of proprietary things in here that I'm trying to figure out. I can point out about anything on here that's not from Apple. But I'm not even sure where to begin. I would assume this is the touch ports, and all the wires, for the most part, look fine. I don't see anything loose. There's a lot of empty connectors in it, but I don't know. I'm not even sure where to begin here. I also understand now why the frame's got chunks missing out of it, because it bolts it straight into this huge metal piece here, which probably causes a lot of stress because there's no back plate there. Honestly, don't know about that either. I don't know why the case is so bad. It's in bad shape. But this, of course, is from a ModBook. This ribbon cable, I don't even know what it goes into. This is really nasty, too. It's filthy. I need to really take this thing apart. But here's the keyboard connector, which has some kind of sensor or something plugged into it. Let's pull up the SATA connector here and see if we can follow the wire. I don't see where it goes. It looks like it goes under the optical drive, but where does it go? Okay, I see it now. Follow it down through here. It turns into that silver piece. That silver piece goes into this piece here. This is probably the touch assembly. I don't know. I honestly don't. It might be, because that would be USB. That might need something wedged on it to keep it connected. I don't know. I want to say Colin's done this once before, but I'm not 100 on that on YouTube. I'd have to look back in his catalog of videos. Let's reconnect the SATA before I forget. Maybe. Why are you not connecting? Hello? There we go. So we got the SATA reconnected. Put the foil tape that's not sticking anymore back down. It's got the original Wi-Fi card in it. 4 gigs of RAM. I don't know what the silver wire is. I don't think that's factory either. It looks like it goes... Okay, that's a factory wire. So the only other place where the connections may be loose, because this board's fine, would be right here. So just push on all these. And the only thing we really can do now is put it back together and see what happens. We won't put the screws back in it. We'll just power it on and see if it does something. Work properly all the time. So I'm going to carefully put this back together and see what happens. Okay, so I haven't actually screwed it back together yet. There's no battery in it or anything like that. I just want to see if the touch is working now, because that might be a good sign that it will continue to work. So let's power it on, see what happens. This thing needs a really deep cleaning. Like a massive deep cleaning. It is filthy. I don't know how I'm going to fix the screen. Yeah, everything's working. So yeah, we'll put it back together and pray it continues to work. Then we'll do a video in the future on it too, but yeah, let's get it back together first. All right, it's back together. Let's see if it still works. I hope it does. Yep, it's at least temporarily fixed. We will have to actually go through it, clean it, but it's actually working now. And if anything, it's a little more responsive maybe, but it might just be because I'm looking at this angle. You know, this is kind of neat to hold. Yeah, let's move you guys over to where I am, or at least I'll move over there, and you'll get a general idea what it feels like to hold one of these things. It's kind of neat. I kind of like it. It's the first time I've actually been able to hold it and it actually possibly still work. So let's change the angle of this camera and stuff real quick. So yeah, that is the Axiotron ModBook. And it's believe it or not, quite intuitive for what it is. And it's working quite totally fine. I'm not having any major issue with it. It's a little It takes a little getting used to, but it's working. I mean, nothing to complain here about. What kind of SSD does this thing have in it? Because I'm curious now that I've seen it. I know it's a Crucial. Where is SATA? Hard drives, something. Hardware RAID. Where? I know I'm yeah, 0 ATA die. Duh. There we go. So it's a 128 gig SSD, Crucial M4. Don't know much about that. Doesn't say it supports trim. I mean, it probably works great for what it is, so I mean, can't complain about that. It's everything seems to be working now fine, and in fact, like I said earlier, I think it's more responsive now than it was. Let's see here. Quit. And this is pretty easy to just pick up and kind of learn on your own. I think we need to come back to this in the future. I got to figure out how we can possibly fix the screen because it is in really, really bad shape. I can probably fix the backlight on it, but I'd kind of like to fix all the delamination around the corners, which is bothering the heck out of me. I don't know if that's possible. It'd be nice if it is. This part of the frame right here is filthy. It's collected a lot of dirt. It's even on the pin. This is possibly one of the more nastier Macs I've ever touched and worked on. Guy might have been a smoker. I mean, this is really yellow. But you know what? I'm actually impressed that it fixed itself and then was easy enough to fix just playing around with the wires a little bit. I think this is permanently fixed, at least temporarily, because I still need to open it and clean it. But I think every time I turn it on now, it will just work, I hope. And yeah, there's quick clicks. I think Colin's probably got some more updated versions of quick clicks and stuff, which would be nice. I'll see if I can borrow that off of him. But this works really well, and I'm quite impressed. I'm very happy it's working. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was interesting going into this thing and trying to actually fix it. It's got a lot of spaghetti in it. It's interesting. It's an interesting system for sure. Let's shut this down. So anyway, guys, I am going to... wish it was a slightly easier to line that up, but hey, this is a fully functional mod book now, with no, don't have to plug anything in it to actually use it. So that's cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, I do now have a Patreon. If you'd like to support me, there'll be a link at the end of the video and also in the description below. And hey, you get to see these videos at least a day early on the Patreon. And there may be some more perks in the future. So if you want to help support me, go over there and check it out. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And this has been a Hrutkay Mods video. Because the touchscreen doesn't work. In fact, this is basically a useless brick without a keyboard and mouse. If anything, this is basically a glorified iMac right now. In a very small, kind of inconvenient form factor that runs really hot and loud. Okay, that is an iMac. Anyway,